Hi, I'm Jim from Left Wing Libertarian.
And I am Anna from BeautyGirlsMom.com.
Today we're here to talk to you about a public safety hazard going on in the state of Florida. It has to do with public and Publix. Two different things. As a member of the public, you should be warned. Don't go to Publix and buy shrimp.
Don't say that, because that's not entirely true. So
go to Publix and buy not the shrimp rings pre-made.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
We've bought them at other supermarkets. We've bought them at other locations. They're not necessarily our favorite.
If you live in the Orlando area, what we used to do was on a Saturday once a month, we would get in the car and we would drive down to Lombardi's and buy any seafood that we needed for the month. And then we would go up to Petty's Meat Market and get our meat for the month. Come home, put that in the freezer in the fridge, and then go to, well, it was Sam's Club because that's all we had at the time. Now we go to Costco. And then when you're done with all that, then we would hit Publix for, milk, bread, eggs. Just the stuff that even eggs you would get at the store now. But just the stuff that, the others don't have that makes it through the list. And now it's the same way. I mean...
So, we want to focus on the pre-made shrimp
shrimp rings. When you're in a hurry.
That we purchased at Publix Christmas Eve. So it was very last minute. Generally when we're home, I cook my own shrimp. I buy them either in a bag of frozen or I buy them fresh from the Wegmans counter. And I clean them and
unless we're driving down to the shore and then we stop at a place.
And we'll stop on the way to the shore.
Yeah,
on the
we
way
have
back.
a place we stop where we buy shrimp and then we get the 100 count bags of clams, which we cook on the grill with white wine, and the shrimp. We have shrimp deveiner. It doesn't take long to devein shrimp.
Says the man who has never deveined a shrimp ever.
Well, I do stuff with the kids while you're deveining, so I know how long that takes.
Like yell at them to go help your mother, even though we only own one shrimp deveiner. But that's neither here nor there. What we really wanted to talk about is the pre-made shrimp ring. Now, we have seen them in other supermarkets. Wegmans even has them. And on the very, very rare occasion in our 25 years together, going on 26 years together.
We got married when I was 4.
Yeah. We've purchased them maybe a handful of times. We've purchased the pre-made, pre-packaged shrimp ring.
If you get a frozen bag of shrimp, you rip open the bag, you throw it into a colander, and you put water over it?
I run cold water over it.
And then what? They're done? As long as they're brought up to room temperature?
Then I have to clean them, and then I cook them. You can buy them pre-cooked. I just don't buy them. I prefer not to buy pre-cooked shrimp. I prefer to do it myself. Okay. First of all, I can smell that they're not fishy smelling, that they're, there's no... I don't feel like they're bad that way, like they've gone bad. But the pre-made shrimp rings, every supermarket has them. And we were in Orlando, Christmas Eve. We were having a few people over for a little Christmas Eve get-together. And at the last minute, I decided to get shrimp.
Mainly, we were at the store walking out, and I walked past the shrimp ring, and I picked one up, and I yelled across Publix, "Hey, Anna, are we getting one of these?"
Yeah.
And she kind of said, whatever, and...
Well, but that's not really how it went, because I went to the seafood counter at Publix, and I asked the man working at the counter, what is the difference between your pre-made shrimp ring and the pre-cooked shrimp that you have behind the counter? Because I did not have a way to clean and properly, cook the shrimp while I was there. What he told me was the shrimp behind the counter had been previously frozen and thawed out, and now they were there behind the counter waiting for you to purchase them. The ones in the ring, he told me, had not been previously frozen. So my assumption was they were fresh, cooked, and packaged.
Now in the ring, you would expect, because they came with the cocktail sauce, you would expect that they are ready to just pick up, dip in the cocktail sauce, and eat.
Yes.
And
with the way he explained it to me, they've not been frozen. I took to mean, no, they're fresh, they're ready to go. So we get back to the room, and the very first thing we noticed when I opened the package up as I was laying food out on the table is they were frozen solid in this ring, frozen completely solid. So the first thing I had to do was put the ring in the sink and run the water over it. Now, the disadvantage to us was that we were in the hotel, so I didn't have the sprayer to, so I had to stand there with them and spin them around.
And then put them back into the ring.
Well, I didn't put them in a ring, I just kind of laid them out on a plate. So that was the first thing. They looked okay. They were a little on the scrawny side. Probably not the kind of shrimp that I would normally serve.
This is the bad dip from our earlier video, right?
No, this is the good dip. That's why it's here next to me. The bad dip. We'll never speak of again. So it looked okay. Then I noticed that it started to have like a white, almost like a frost bite color to it as it was sitting on the plate.
And then when you took a bite of a shrimp, it had like that extra mealy piece hanging off the side. Whatever the technical term for that is. Shrimpus extra pieces or something?
Yeah, I'm not even sure what they call it, but I think it was the way they cleaned them. Yeah, it just did have kind of like a mealy texture. They just weren't, they weren't good.
Now, if you're watching this and you're going, wait, you're comparing this to eating at Disney, or you're comparing it to in Orlando going to Lombardi seafood,
I'm comparing it to the roadside stand on the way down to the Jersey Shore where we get shrimp and
well even that is probably a higher thing than a supermarket. I think the difference is if we compare it to our local Acme around the corner, which we really don't go to, if you go to the Acme to buy shrimp, when you buy shrimp at the counter, the first thing they do is say, do you want it with Old Bay or without Old Bay? And
they will steam them for you. They will take raw shrimp at our supermarket, which I assume most supermarkets do, and they will steam them for you.
That autoclave kind of thing in the back?
Yeah. But again, I prefer to clean them and cook them myself so that I know that it's done to my specifications. And again, I can smell them to make sure that they're good. I don't think the Publix shrimp were bad. I don't think they were rotten shrimp when they were cooked. I just think they were frozen, and I'm not sure how long they were frozen. They just didn't have an appealing taste or texture.
Now, we wouldn't be mocking the Publix shrimp ring if this was our only encounter with them. We have seen them at other people's parties because we have relatives that lived in Orlando, and we lived in Orlando for years. And it really just we should have remembered better. It's not that we should have even known better. We know better, and we just completely forgot. And I think part of the problem with shrimp is one of those things about shrimp at a party, which is shrimp can be a very expensive thing.
Yes.
And people will scarf it down, especially if it's in the loose, ring with the shrimp cocktail. So it's not like if somebody gets a bad one, they might get a bad one. If there are a few bad ones, somebody might get bad 6 or 8.
Yeah.
And then you run the risk of somebody getting sick at your party, or even if they don't get sick, somebody just being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing to do. You want people to be entertained and comfortable.
So the lesson that we learned, or the lesson that we were really reminded of, was it is still better to go with fresh shrimp, but it is never better to go with those pre-packaged, pre-processed, whatever they're doing to them, shrimp rings. You don't know how old the shrimp are. You don't know how long they've been frozen, and you don't know what you're going to get when you bite into one.
Is this a good time to mention our new sponsor, Albertsons?
Yeah, we will still shop at Publix when we're in Orlando. It is one of the nicest supermarkets in the Orlando area.
They're everywhere.
We enjoy Publix supermarkets. And when we lived in Florida, we primarily shopped at Publix, except for the occasional seafood that we would get at Albertsons.
We did the other run. And again, when we lived in Fort Lauderdale, we had, where did we go for seafood?
We mostly got it at Albertsons.
Yeah.
Because Albertsons had the best prices on seafood.
Yeah. Even then, we still kind of shopped around. I mean, it's the importance of finding a good butcher shop for good meat.
Or a good fishery.
Good seafood.
I'm not even sure what they called seafood house.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a lesson that we learned, and we're just here to warn the public. Be careful about what you're buying.
Warn the public about Publix.
No, Publix is a great supermarket. We love them. We will definitely continue.
So really, this is just a warning about supermarket shrimp rings in general?
Yeah, just be careful about what you're buying, especially when it comes to seafood, and especially if you're having company over. You don't want to be responsible for someone getting ill, or I don't frankly want to be responsible for something bad being on the table. Not even that it made someone sick, but just that it didn't taste good.
Or it looks bad, it smells bad. I mean, it affects the whole party.
Yeah.
So how much time does it really take to get, 1 or 2 pounds of shrimp clean?
It takes me a good 20 minutes to do 2 pounds of shrimp.
So,
but I think that I'm very thorough, and I could do it quicker. And I know there are a lot of people that could do it quicker. That's just how long it takes me.
Somebody who's watching this who works in a shrimp cleaning house is probably like...
And again, you say 2 pounds of shrimp, but it depends on the size of the shrimp. Like the shrimp we had the other day, which were basically, little, to throw in a pasta kind of shrimp. They were small. That took 20 minutes.
Now, just to give you a technical history, When we talk about shrimp size, we talk about the smallest shrimp. We refer to them as dollop.
Yeah.
What is a dollop of shrimp?
Well, when we were, our first trip to Vegas, we had seen a sign that said $1.99 shrimp cocktail.
99-cent shrimp cocktail.
99. It was some outrageous, which is what people told us. When you go to Las Vegas, you're going to find prime rib for $2 and shrimp for $1, and you'll find all these fabulous prices. So we did find the shrimp cocktail for 99 cents, and we went to the hotel, and basically what you got was like a wine glass, or was it a parfait glass?
I think it was like an ice cream sundae kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, like an ice cream sundae or a parfait glass that was the teeny tiny salad shrimp mixed with...
Or thrown on top with
Or the dollop. It had a dollop of cocktail sauce on the top. So you got a glass full of the little tiny salad shrimp and then a big dollop of the cocktail sauce on top that you could kind of mix it together. So yeah, some of the size shrimp, like the tiny ones, we call them dollop shrimp. But that goes way off topic. Wrap it up.
See you real soon.
Done hearing you ramble.
See you real soon.
See you real soon.